Richard.
Hey,
How are you doing this week?
not so good. I've been still struggling with eating and sleeping since last week. Last week I actually had trouble eating food, having enough food, but I feel like now I've kind of developed overeating and I'm just kind of at home all day. After school, I'm not even doing anything, I'm just eating and eating. Not sleeping enough, and I've hooked up with a few people, just random hookups, and thought it would make me feel better, and it didn't work at all. It actually makes me feel a lot worse, and so I'm just not really feeling well at all.
Mm, that's tough. You know, you're going through a lot right now, and just in the loss of your boyfriend, and that makes sense. I understand exactly what you're saying. It makes complete sense. From what you're telling me is, you know, you went from not eating to overeating to not sleeping, and now you're also adding on hooking up with random people, and that's making you feel bad. So it sounds like all of these things that you're doing to make yourself feel better instantly, it's causing you to actually feel worse. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, maybe the instant that I'm doing it, or I'm in that moment of eating or hooking up, it'll feel good, and then I just get this rush of guilt or just sadness. And I just keep thinking about him. Actually, I forgot to tell you, I ran into him once last week, and I don't know, something about the way he looked at me, it seemed like he was upset, like he hated me about something. And then I couldn't get the courage to go up to him and talk to him. We just kind of passed by. So I just feel like he hates me.
So I have a couple questions. Well, let's start with what you just said. When you feel like he hates you, do you have any reason to believe that he hates you, or have you heard any facts, or?
I mean, we ended what I thought was okay and mutual, and it seemed like both of us agreed that the breakup should happen. We haven't really texted at all since the breakup, but I think just, you know, the fact that just that look in his face, it almost seemed like he was angry about something, and he was looking at me, and neither of us approached each other in passing, and so I just feel like something happened, or I don't know, maybe he's waiting for me to talk to him again. I have no idea what.
What do you think would happen if you did talk to him?
I feel like
Do you want to talk to him?
I do, but I feel like it wouldn't be in either of our benefit, and I feel like he might be feeling kind of the same like I do. I feel like maybe he wants to talk to me, but we both know that the relationship wasn't healthy the way it was, and even though we miss each other, you know, I think we're both trying to stay strong.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't seem like anything's happened to him besides that he's mad at me. At least that's what I'm saying, but I am having a really, really tough time with it.
And that, I mean, you're going through a lot. You're going through a lot of changes, and it is tough. I want to kind of circle back to when you said that you feel bad after you overeat, and when you don't sleep, and when you hook up with random people.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you could do? Is there something that, like, do you think about hooking up or overeating, or is it just kind of a second nature kind of thing? Do you have time to think about what you're doing, or?
I do. and you know, I don't think I'm gonna be doing the hooking up anymore. I did it twice, and they were both horrible experiences, and but with the eating, I think that's gonna be my biggest struggle. I think something that I could do is replace my eating with something at least healthier and not junk food. And I can maybe keep a log of what I'm eating, so I'm at least a little bit more conscious of what I'm putting in my body.
That's a great idea. Have you thought about what you're going to do to kind of combat the feeling that there's some unfinished business? Because that's what it sounds like you're feeling with your ex.
Mm-hmm.
That not necessarily unfinished business, but you're not sure what he's thinking. And you don't necessarily want to talk to him. If this is, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't necessarily want to talk to him and you don't want to reopen that wound, if you will, but would you consider maybe writing him a letter and not even sending it to him, but just kind of as a way to get it off your chest?
Yeah, I think I could do that and just kind of write out all of my leftover feelings and anger and sadness, and I guess everything that I tied to that relationship, and kind of just at least have it on paper so I don't have to keep it in my mind.
Yeah, that sounds, I mean, if that works for you, because it sounds like with your log writing, that writing is something that kind of helps with you, or it's cathartic practice for you. So maybe if you tried doing that, and we can see kind of, you know, if you're starting to feel better, grief is a process, and you're grieving right now. It's a long process, so it makes sense. It's understandable what you're feeling right now. I am worried about you not sleeping and overeating, and just having these bad feelings. So for next week, let's see if you can write down what you're eating and what you're feeling, and then we can kind of go from there and see if, you know, you're feeling any better, if that's helping you at all.
Okay.
Okay, well, it was nice to see you.
Nice seeing you too.
Take
Thank
care.
you.